Ukraine won the independence in 1991 from the USSR, but the Ukrainians, uh, the 100% of the Ukrainians wasn't convinced that they were completely independent because the government of Ukraine always followed the orders of the Kremlin, and thanks to Russia being the founder of Ukraine, they they had control of Ukraine because that country was always in debt. In the elections of 2004, protests called the Orange Revolution rise because they claimed that the elections were not good. Like it was also. I'm going to search the name. It's Viktor Yanukovych. That was the pro-Russian one, but people thought that the real winner was Viktor Yushchenko. So, so the Orange Revolution made the government repeat the elections. Thanks to the Orange Revolution was commanded from the other president and Yulia Tymoshenko. But Yanukovych won again the elections. And in 2 years ago, Yanukovych abandoned a trade tie with the European Union, and that makes the Orange Revolution rise again, but now with violence, because the country was in recession, the economy was very bad, and they thought that being part of the European nations could help. But Yanukovych decided to seek help with Russia, and that made the Ukrainians very angry. Russia answered to that, saying that they will pay the debt of Ukraine and they will reduce the price of natural gas. But the opposition of Ukrainians thought that it was better being part of the European nations, because if you are part of the European nations, you can go anywhere, and they thought that in the future it was going to be more helpful for the economy of the nation. Then 1 year later, the Yanukovych disappeared and then appeared again in the TV. He was in Russia and he claimed a coup, that it had been a coup. But Ukrainians didn't care, and they made new elections and put a new president. But the government of Vladimir Putin decided to add Crimea if people of Crimea want, because they talked with Yanukovych that claims that he was still the president. So there was elections in Crimea, and Crimea now is part of Russia.
So, why does this have to do with globalization? Well, there is a global impact in economy in all this, because the revolution is making the citizens of the United Kingdom get scared. I don't know. Yeah. The people in Europe are afraid that the Russian sanctions begin a new war or something like that. So that has an impact in the way they behave and also in the economy, because Russia is the owner of a lot of the United Kingdom gas, and they are making. They are saying that they're going to raise the prices of the gas if they continue intervening with all the Crimea subjects. There was a meeting between the USA and Russia that they were talking about all this and how they were supposed to behave. And like Russia, the thing that Russia wants is to get control of the Black Sea, because it's the Russia wants control of Black Sea because it's almost the only part of water that they have. It's the closest one that is not frozen. Right now they have Crimea, and they want all this part and this part of Ukraine to have more control over the Black Sea, and they are also mobilizing military bases all over the Russian border because they want to be in an offensive place. But this is creating fear from the countries because they think that they are going to make something, like they are going to start a war or something.
Well, the Ukrainian problem began in the last year, in November, when Yanukovych won the elections. But then citizens began with making camps on the central plaza. Then Yanukovych began to bother. No. Then the people began to make protests and riots, but Yanukovych didn't like that, so he made laws against riots and protests. Citizens need to have a permission from the police to make riots, but citizens didn't like it and make more riots and violence. So USA make an agreement with Yanukovych, but Yanukovych suddenly denied it, and citizens began to make more violence and police, and it was like a civil war. Then the agreement was to help the economy from Crimea.
Well, I just want to add that in 2004, this conflict seems to be no matter of globalization. It was just an Ukrainian problem that is an economy smaller than the economy of Peru. But we can see now that we can see here the globalization, because now we have USA, the European nation, Russia involved in this conflict, because everybody wants to show their power and to make their economy stronger. Right now the European nation doesn't want to make any move because Russia gives their natural gas to Europe. So if they do something against Russia, they are going to increase the prices of the gas, and their economy is going to suffer a lot. But in the other hand, USA is pushing Europe to increase the military in the frontier of Russia, and right now Russia is not part of the G8 thanks to this crisis. So something that starts like a problem of one small country is now a matter of all the world.